Hey, it's Bark. So we've got a ash tree that has fallen victim to the emerald ash borer, who is an arch nemesis of mine. So here in Ohio, it's been a big problem. The emerald ash borer is actually an invasive species that came over from Asia. And the reason why it's such a big problem here is there's no natural predators, right? It's not as big of a deal in Asia because there are other bugs that keep them in check. But here, those don't exist. So we've been introducing some wasps. I think there's 3 different species of wasps that are kind of our first line of defense against them, but it hasn't been doing all that much. So here in Ohio, there are about 3.8 billion ash trees that are currently vulnerable. And it's expected that about 1% of them will survive just because of genetic variation that makes the ash borer not be attracted to them. Here are the kind of telltale signs of the emerald ash borer, which are these ridges here. You can see they kind of like meander about. That's them kind of eating through the ash tree. And yeah, so this is what it looks like. The other big sign is that it's on forest floor instead of upright. There's not that much we can do with the ash tree to save the ash trees. If you've got one like on your property, you can do a thing called deep trunk injection. You take pesticides. So if you just spray pesticides on the outside, it doesn't really do anything. But if you inject the pesticides deep into the tree, then it'll kind of propagate throughout and it'll stop the infection. That's not really something we can do on a large scale though, right? We've got 3.8 billion ash trees. The 1% of trees that survive are called lingering ash trees. So they have some kind of genetic mutation that makes them not attractive to the emerald ash borer. One of my big projects this summer is going to be identifying these ash trees in the summer when there's leaves on and they're easier to identify. Marking it like on GPS or something for the fall, and that ash tree is producing seeds. I can collect those seeds and send them up to Dr. Jennifer Koch. I think that's how you pronounce her last name. It's Koch. Dr. Koch works for the Northern Research Station in Delaware, Ohio. She is a forest geneticist. She's breeding these lingering ash trees. She's doing really amazing work to save these trees, and hopefully we can repopulate and get these ash trees back in the mix.